Hi, I'm Pierre Simões. I'm a musician and I'm a writer. I want to invite you to download my books hosted on Amazon. There are 3 books and 6 short stories. I talk about each of them a little bit. Ahmandarah, A Great Journey. Fantastic story of Tobias on the planet Ahmandarah, called Kepler 186f by NASA astronomers. After being rescued by ETs from the hands of homicidal traffickers, Tobias is invited to live for 10 years on this beautiful planet to acquire new life experiences and contribute to his story. He suffers personal tragedies, fights in technological wars and discovers his great love, but also makes great friends and leaves his legacy of overcoming to be admired and a great example to be followed. Belzebub Onanists. It's a work of fiction, about the life of 2 souls over several centuries of reincarnation, from the earliest times of Lemúria to the present day. It includes 22 chapters of intense descriptions about the lives of Carlinhos and Edinho, filled with joy and suffering, as well as great human trials about patience, faith, material detachment, brotherly love and, above all, unconditional forgiveness and spiritual ascent. The 3 Faces of Chiagu for now is a piece of theater for 5 actors, being 2 women and 3 men, one of them a transformist. The text tells the story of a Portuguese merchant who comes Brazil with her wife Dona Rosalinda and becomes dangerously involved with a false priest and 2 lovers as they dispute their affective preference and their posses when he dies. The Messenger is the story of a professional photographer who finds himself in a bind when he goes to investigate a self-employed murder. He has the clinical eye to find clues that only the most experienced detectives can find, sometimes putting his life and the lives of his co-workers at risk. The Will of Harrow Gunter is the history of the reading of a controversial will left by the patriarch of the Gunter family for his wife, his daughters and some friends. Receives part of the Haranka, a lover girl, generating a lot of confusion and conflict during the work conducted by an expert and very suspicious lawyer. I Like La Vie en Rose is the story of a military family chef who invites his commander and his wife to have lunch at their house. He has received by him, his wife, a son and a maid, in charge of preparing and serving the lunch. All is going well until the commander to sing a famous song by Edith Piaf, La Vie en Rose. That leads to a monumental constraint and the abandonment of lunch by the guest and his wife. The False Kidnapping Hit is the story of a corrupt politician who receives a phone call from a prison inmate trying to apply the famous hit, pretending to be a kidnapper, when he is discovered. After Mock the Bandit, he tells him that he is part of the corruption scheme, being advised to flee the country. But it's too late. Seeking a Twin Soul is the story of a man and a woman who go to a fortune teller to seek her face meted. While both of them are waiting for a tense conversation, they are attacking each other with insults that never end, but they end up discovering that one is the soulmate of another, being happily ever after. The Unmistakable Human Nature is the history of a psychiatrist treating his patients and their anguish and conflicts with men. Each one, at their own pace, answers the psychiatrist's questions and all, without exception, have a tragic ending at the end of each interview. At the end the psychiatrist reveals whom he really is.